Jackson going to the sideline. Pick six. Tommy Hill. The short run to the house. Look at that. Handoff. Downhill. Touchdown. His third.
Welcome into Cornhusker Connection. Brandon Shanahan, joined as always by Tyler Sprinkle on a Tuesday, live on Twitter and Twitch, YouTube the next morning, also on Spotify. How are we doing, Tyler? Back on a Tuesday.
Yeah, we planned this so we could be live right when the rankings come out because we're smart. There was no other reason.
I'm a really smart businessman because nobody can actually watch the ranking show. So that's what we're here for. We're here to provide a service to the great people of the United States of America. So here we are.
You know how petty I am? I deleted the ESPN app off my phone. That's how petty
I like that. Really standing 10 toes down.
Yeah. And they also kept force feeding me NBA game scores, and it was pissing me off. I couldn't get them to stop. So that also led to me deleting the ESPN app.
Have you tried the Apple Sports app?
You've been pushing this on me for a little while. I did try it. Was not a fan. It is clean. It is clean. I don't like the alerts that it pops up with. Because most things, if you swipe up, you can get rid of it.
Yeah,
but swipe up on that, it takes you to the sports app, and it's just annoying. So I just use the Score.
Score's a good place. I feel like functionally that's the best Score app. Yeah, I don't think it's as aesthetic as the Apple Score apps, and I don't think it has the deep functionality that the ESPN app has. But for scores, it's a good one. I'm not going to fight you on that one.
I'm a big fan. Keeps all your favorite teams at the top like it should. It does everything well. Nothing bad. Everything just well.
What I really like about the Apple Sports is that you can select conferences as favorites. So I have all the power conferences as my favorite. So those are the scores that pop up on Saturdays, which is all I really care about.
Sure, you can do that on the Score as well.
Really?
Let me quick check here. And it's super easy. So
maybe I'll have to.
Yep, I can do that on here as well. So you can do just top 25s. You can do all FBS, ACC, Big 12, all that stuff.
All right.
So, yeah, it's not going to blow your socks off, but it's going to be there for you.
Scores. There it is.
It's like a warm blanket in the dead of winter. It's going to be there.
Speaking of that, how's the weather turning up there for you? Cooling down?
Yeah, it's been chilly. Today it got up to damn near 70 today, which is kind of a bummer. I'm ready for it to be cold.
Yeah.
But 70.
At what point do you turn on the heat?
Well, if it were up to me, I wouldn't turn it on until it gets 30.
But
Sophia's had that baby cranking for
a
month now. So we have that thermostat where you can set it. If it goes above this temperature, the air kicks on. If it goes below this temperature, the heat kicks on.
That's nice. That's huge. We don't have that, so you really got to commit to one or the other.
Yeah,
and it's that time of year where it's we just got to thug it out. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit cold. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit warm.
So I guess technically the heat is always on. Technically,
it's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Big weekend in college football. We'll obviously start with Nebraska, and I've been cooking up a monologue for you. I know how much you love my monologues. Just all my thoughts. It was one of those games where I sat in the dark for just an hour after the wife went to bed. We had all the lights off because of the blackout, which was very cool. We'll touch on that. But just sat in the dark for about an hour. It was just soaking in the emotions. But I'll start with the bad, work my way positive, optimistic Brandon here.
Can I get first a little Oreo action, actually?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll sandwich out a bit.
Thank you.
We'll start with the theme, just missed opportunity. It felt like all the non-football things were lining up in such a crazy way. Very impressed with the participation at Memorial Stadium with the blackout. It looked incredible. The uniforms looked clean. And it just felt like, I don't know. We talked about this in the Michigan game. It just felt like the stars were aligning in a way that doesn't always happen, especially in November, where you get a team like USC traveling 2 time zones to play a primetime game. That's tough to swallow. Once the game actually started, though, I think sprinkle in some. Actually, we'll go right in the middle here with a positively negative take. TJ Lateef got to play a quarterback. We'll obviously talk about Dylan and his status moving forward. I guess if I'm looking at it, no context, I don't think he played all that well, which is a bummer. 3 fumbles, 2 of them didn't matter because they fell out of bounds, and then the snap killed that drive, which was looking promising. But then you add in the context, like a true freshman coming off the bench in that kind of environment. And we talk about it like it's a home environment. Like, that's not an easy thing to come into, even if it is the home crowd behind you. That's a crazy thing to ask a true freshman to be able to do cold off the bench against a team as powerful as USC. And it's such an important moment in the season. I did like the element that he brings in with his legs, of course. And I'm very optimistic about his play moving forward. I saw a lot of people crying and moaning about the play calling getting vanilla once he got in, which, I mean, my first thought was I didn't think it was that much more vanilla than what we were already running. We were already running pretty vanilla, just with this new, more of an RPO quarterback run thing. And even if it was vanilla, yeah, of course it was. We have a true freshman coming in off the bench. You're going to make things as easy for him as possible. We couldn't have Dylan back there dropping back 5 steps and chucking it down the field because of protection. The one time that he held the ball kind of long, he got killed. So obviously we're not going to throw TJ into that spot. And yeah, I know that throw against Houston Christian was sick, but it's a little bit different situation. So even if it was more vanilla, of course it was. That's the right move. Saw a lot of folks complaining about the game management, the lack of timeouts, lack of urgency on that drive. I didn't have much of a problem with it. I wish we would have had more timeouts, and I guess I really wish that we wouldn't have done that bullshit fake QB sneak, call a timeout. That felt like a wasted timeout. But the urgency right before the 2-minute warning, I'm totally cool with. We didn't lose that game because we ran out of time. We lost the game because we couldn't get the first down. And that's what I thought was clearly the priority was, all right, let's get a couple of first downs. Let's get out of the inside of our 5-yard line. And let's see what happens. And obviously it didn't work out. Bummer. Again, wish we would have had more timeouts. So what? But I think my most positive take, and I don't know if this will be very popular, but I really liked how the defense played. And it feels bad watching them gash you for 8 yards on first down every chance they move the chains. But then you go into halftime and they have 6 points on the board. And more than anything, and where I think the defense has progressed so much over the course of the year that nobody's given them credit for, is when they needed to stop, they went out and got it. When it's 4th and 1 at the 50, USC has a chance to put the nail in the coffin, extend their drive, put points on the board. They came up with a TFL on an obvious rundown, got the stop there. That last drive, I was kind of going into that thinking, gosh, overtime is probably the best case scenario. You hold them to a field goal, you march down, you tie it up with a touchdown. Didn't even come to that, really. Nebraska had a chance to win. They got the stop. But that's how it's supposed to look when you're going against a team like USC. Like, you want them, if they are going to get points, you want it to be 10, 11 play drives. Make them earn every single thing, because then that opens up the door when there's a single negative play or a couple of intentional groundings. It kills the drive because they're not in rhythm in the passing game. Then Maeva got going running. That is what it is. But 21 points going in. If you would have told me 21 points going into that game, I'd be like, oh, that's winning football. The defense played winning football. So obviously a lot of movement going on throughout this week, but I'll open up the floor. How did you see that game on Saturday night?
A lot of it different, but a lot of it the same. Dylan. I don't want to say bad things about the dad. Let me start there. So I'm not going to go super crazy on him. You don't lose the game on 1 or 2 plays, but us not being able to get any points there when we get a turnover, and instead turn the ball back over to them and then also lose our starting quarterback. It's hard not to point at that point in the game and say, "Oh boy, we lost right there." We were still in it. We were still fighting. You mentioned the defense. I thought they played pretty well, other than the fact that they could not set a contain on the edge, and that was really pissing me off. I think when you talk about TJ, you say, of course, it's going to be vanilla. I don't necessarily think that's true for a couple of reasons. One, if TJ comes in, you can catch him way off guard. You take a shot first play with TJ in the game, nobody's thinking you're going to do that because what do? We didn't do that, right? So they had us in a box the rest of the game because they knew we were not going to try to push it down the field with TJ. So you played into their thinking and their game on that. You obviously want to protect your young quarterback, but we're in the heat of a Big Ten race. Our hopes, albeit slim hopes, for a chance at a college football playoff was still alive at that point. Let the kid play. Let him see, let's see what he has. Don't handcuff him because you don't think he's ready. He's probably not, but make him show you that he's not ready, right? I think that was kind of waving the white flag in a sense. I don't know. I just think you give him a couple drives, you push the ball, let him throw it, see what he's got. If it doesn't work, then fine. Go back to your game manager. We're going to lose the game anyways, whatever. Fine. But as you mentioned, that environment, yes, at home, but my goodness, you could tell how nervous he was. And that's to be expected. He wasn't expecting to play. He probably knew he was getting in those 2 games that he did. He was not expecting to get into this game. I promise you that. I'm very hopeful for him having a full week of preparation, and you can feel the team rallying around TJ. I think he's gonna go out there and look really good against UCLA. And it adds another wrinkle to our team that we haven't had in a couple of years with his mobility. And he can throw the damn ball, man. He can throw it.
He's got a cannon. Let's not sleep on that.
It's just learning timings, and you would expect him to know the playbook pretty well, but if not, maybe figure it out this week, right?
Yeah.
But the best thing that comes out of this game is Emmett Johnson. Holy shit, that guy's awesome.
Freak, dude.
That guy is so awesome. Brooke mentioned this a lot about Matt Rule's mentality when it comes to games like this. You keep it close, you run down the clock, and hopefully you're ahead at the end of that game. Sometimes you got to be ready to put your foot on the gas and step on their throats. Similar to how that game went last year against Colorado, we came out, beat them in the face early, and they were just dead by the time halftime rolled around, right? We had a chance to do maybe not that exact same thing, but something similar early in that game. And we just could not do it. We couldn't do it. The missed field goal, obviously tough. But we were in this game the whole game. And it's different from years past, right? Because we would go into these games and get blown out. And just there was no chance for us to win this game. We were in this game till the end. Just we're getting there. I guess that's what I took away from this game is we're getting there slowly but surely. We are a better team than we were last year and the year last year and the year last year. And I'm trying not to be impatient, but God, I want to just be good so bad. I just want to win these damn games so bad. And it's so frustrating and disheartening when we see stuff like this. And I don't think it was one coach in particular that did a bad job. I think they all kind of had their hands in making some mistakes in that game. But let's let it fly, man. Let's go out there, push the ball. Let's do some cool shit instead of fucking screen, run, screen, run, screen, run. I know that they're playing a mind game in these situations, but you got to go out there and have confidence in your team to execute and be the better team that day. You have to think that. But with how we run the offense, sometimes it doesn't feel like they're very confident in that group, and that's disheartening.
And one thing I started to think about is when Matt Rule took over this program, as much as we've ever seen at Nebraska, you got to start fresh, rebuilding it from the roots. And that also means that you have to have these guys learn how to win different kind of games. And we've talked about it quite a bit when in the Northwestern game, in the Maryland game, like when you have these opportunities to step on the gas. And I don't want to say 21-6 would have put the game away per se, but then say hypothetically you have a catastrophic injury at quarterback, 21-6 is a lot easier to protect than 14-6. Yeah. And that's exactly what I think the next evolution is. And we saw it against, I mean, I know they didn't score against Colorado in the second half last year, but like you go up 28-0, they folded. Like there was no shot that they were going to come back in. You can just sit back and protect in that kind of situation. And you just knew that this USC offense was going to find something. Like Lincoln Riley wasn't just going to sit around and be like, oh, well, I guess we're out of this one. I have no wrinkles. I have no answer for what's going on here. You knew that they were going to come back and go down swinging. And it's just, now that you bring that up, because I think you're a very rational person, and I feel like I've seen this vanilla offense come from a lot of irrational, well, we got to fire Matt Rule kind of crowd. And that does make it would have been crazy to send TJ out there and just be like, all right, first play, let it rip. Fuck it. Or especially
if
after
it doesn't work, then you're still at the same place you are right now.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
At least try. That's all I was asking is just give it a couple plays, see what happens. Who knows? Maybe he hits Dane Key for 30 yards on the first play and we're rolling. Here we are. Everybody's super confident all of a sudden.
Buzzing. Yeah. That's the first take that I've heard in that realm. That's made sense. Missed opportunity, but I do like what you said there is that you can still see the progress. And even compared to the other two losses where I left feeling silly, like I got egg on my face. Like I can't believe I really thought we were going to beat Michigan. We weren't competing in the same way that they were competing. And then the Minnesota game, awful feeling. Like it didn't show up, weren't prepared. Nobody played well. This didn't feel like that in any way, shape, or form. This felt like we went out, we had a vision for what we wanted this game to look like. We wanted long drives. Even if we give up 8 yards of carry on first down, we got to shorten this game up, limit their chances, let Emmett Johnson be a freak. And it just didn't seem like that was quite good enough. And then, of course, you lose your starting quarterback early in the third quarter. That's an incredibly difficult thing to come back from, even in the best of circumstances like this. And they hung around. Defense came up huge late when they needed to. And it just didn't fall our way. And for the first time, it just felt like we just weren't quite good enough. And that's, I think, a better place to be than those many years where it felt like we were good enough, but we pissed down our leg in some way, shape, or form, or like the Michigan game where it just didn't seem like we were the same kind of team. So I can see the progress, and I have a hard time sympathizing with the people that don't see the progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm still I had this blind optimism every game. I feel like I have to, or else I just wouldn't have fun watching these games anymore.
I mean, that's the fun is investing in this game. And I was talking to Cash. He's like, you get so upset when they lose. And I'm like, yeah, that's the fun of this is that I have something that actually like doesn't tangibly matter that I can pour my emotion into. That rocks.
And one day when it finally works, it's going to be just so awesome.
Hit like crack.
Yeah. Yeah, this game sucked. I mean, losing Dylan blows. We have TJ. Thank goodness we have him, right? Like, this is why you recruit young guys for this situation, like, that we're in right now. You get a guy as a true No, he was redshirting this year, right?
Yeah, that's where we were trending. But he's a true freshman now.
Yeah, so you have a true freshman. Who knows what you got? I mean, you only saw him play against two subpar teams. No disrespect to those two teams, but that's the game action he had, and there was no pressure because we were up by so much. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he's got. But people talking crazy about Dylan is just so out of touch. I don't understand how you can. I don't know if people are happy that he's got hurt or maybe just more excited.
It feels like that a little bit.
I don't. It's so
It
weird.
feels like
this fan base can be so shitty sometimes.
I was also a sneaky takeaway. Is like Nebraska fans are a miserable bunch of people that if I wasn't part of the hive, I would absolutely. I can see the hate. It's the picture came clear. I'm like, I see why people don't want Nebraska to win. These miserable fucks would be happy, and that's a bummer.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, you see your fair share of like Iowa fans coming out and celebrating the injury to Dylan. Just outstanding citizens right there.
I did see a couple of Iowa fans bummed that Dylan Raiola won't be playing against them. And that pisses me off more than them celebrating the injury. Like, you fuckers.
Yeah. Well, now at least we have an excuse for the rest of the year, right?
Like, oh yeah, we would have hung 40 on your poverty program. Play the whole SEC hypothetical card.
Yeah. So, but I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to look upwards. On Saturday and Sunday, I was just sitting there after watching the Broncos game, and I decided that I'm giving up sports and I'm just going to become a bodybuilder. Worked out a couple times. Don't think it's for me. Bodybuilding, that is. So I think I'm stuck with sports, unfortunately.
Back to sports.
Yeah. I gave it a shot, though.
I appreciate that. Would you rather be a successful bodybuilder or be like a 10 handicap golfer?
I mean, golf, because that's like an actual skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had that thought, or like the vision was like, because a couple of years ago, I turned into a freak, and I was like going to the gym specifically doing like golf specific workouts.
Oh.
Just to break 100. And then I broke 100, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm done. I did it. I made it. I made it to the big times. That's all I need.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I ever will care enough about golf to be that good.
Yeah.
Like, I like golf. Don't get me wrong, but not as much as I used to. A couple of years ago, we were going like every week, and I was still kind of shit. And right then and there, we're going every week. I'm not really focusing on doing anything. I was like, yeah, I just don't think I care enough to be a good golfer. And I think that's okay.
I think that is okay.
Yeah.
But we got to find something. And I guess that something's the Huskers until further notice. I mean, one of these days is bound to pay off, right? Like, even just like accidentally stumble it across a couple of good wins.
I mean, you can like look at the Huskers, right? And then look at our other favorite team, the Denver Broncos. Two
like totally
wildly
different.
Worlds. Like, I swear the Broncos suck, but they're 7-2, and I swear Nebraska's good, and they're not having as much success. Like, it just, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Can't explain it.
Nope.
Well, looking ahead, it's the TJ Lateef show. And like, let me say this. I was never a let's get TJ into the game while Dylan was healthy. I thought that was crazy. And I also had this thought on Saturday, like, because there has been a lot of chatter, not necessarily to bench Dylan, but to get TJ out there, show them a different look, put the defense on their heels. I think in hindsight, like, it was more beneficial to have him kind of catch a team off guard like USC than it would have provided value earlier in the season in any one of those games. And like, I guess, because like you do prepare for Dylan in a different way than you would prepare for TJ Lateef. And if you put that on tape, now you know, okay, well, this kid's in the game. This is the kind of, script that they're going to try to run with him. I like the element of they didn't know what to prepare for. I'm sure they had some intel on him, but like, how much of that is really valuable and what you can bring to the preparation table.
Well, you know what they did? They just put 9 guys in the box and said, "Throw it, bitch." And guess what we didn't do? Throw it, bitch.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
Yeah. And it didn't really work out to that advantage, but thought that, again, minimal value. I don't think there's a whole lot of value to be had there. And instead of you going to a completely different script and hucking the ball downfield. But I am excited to see what this offense looks like, because he does have that element to him where he can take off. And that means that now maybe the safeties play a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage than they would, trying to protect over the top against Dylan. That opens up some more stuff downfield. Maybe put a spy on him so you have a whole defender kind of dedicated to his scramble ability. So that opens up the interior line a little bit more, opens up the pass game on the perimeter. I think it does open up. Again, I would much rather have Dylan. This isn't a TJ. I'm so stoked that TJ is finally getting play. It's our reality, and I think that there are benefits to it. And I do think it could provide a spark. This also kind of feels like a spot that we've seen Nebraska teams kind of lull into and get shit pumped by UCLA like they did last year, or going into the Minnesota game. But now you have the team get to rally around this guy who's making his first ever start. And I like the energy I'm getting from the pressers so far this week.
Yeah. And I'm just happy that Dylan and TJ aren't the exact same player. Because then it does force you to game plan on a guy that's unknown. Whereas if Dylan and TJ are the exact same, then it's seemingly not a whole lot different game plan wise for the defense that we're going against. So I'm happy that we have TJ. Not happy that we don't have Dylan, but happy that we have a guy like TJ on our team for this exact situation, right? Again, blind optimism. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm going to lock in one way or the other, especially 8:30. I'll have all day to just stew and fester about this game. Again, it seems so easy to see the progress. A couple of years ago, Jeff Sims tweaked his ankle, and we're talking about, do you start Heinrich Haarberg or Chubba Purdy? And so this feels like a totally different universe that we're living in with TJ. And even, I'm over the moon with how our quarterback room is shaping up.
Yeah, and some good things came out of the game. I got some recruits.
Oh my gosh, what an impactful weekend recruiting wise.
Can I poo-poo a little bit?
Yeah, poo-poo.
This doesn't matter. They're not going to come to Nebraska. I mean, and the reason I say that is because of the landscape that we're in right now. They could flip 7 different times before they end up on campus somewhere. So while I'm happy that we're getting the initial, I'm coming to Nebraska, and it shows you how awesome the environment is on game days, that's a big bump for people. The only one I'm sure about is Trey Taylor. I mean, he might be a bigger Husker fan than I am.
I mean, boy, he had a playoff game on Saturday afternoon. He was playing competitive high school football in the playoffs, the season on the line, and then got on a jet, came to Nebraska. And then, I mean, obviously he's very influential with these other recruits. And I think that does make this a little bit different, is that Trey Taylor is doing a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to getting these recruits. So you could say, again, we're talking about 2027. These kids just finished their junior season.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, they're still young high school kids. Things change. People change. Yeah. Situations change. I think that there's a 70% chance they actually come to Nebraska. And it's no fault of Nebraska. I want to be clear with that.
And I think that's a pretty high number for a lot of these guys with no previous connections to Nebraska at this stage in the game. It's nice to have. I think it builds momentum. I think I saw this puts Nebraska top 3 in recruiting classes. I don't think that'll stick as other teams start to fill their boards up and get commits. Right. But again, it's nice to have this momentum early. It doesn't seem like we've ever had this kind of momentum this far out in advance with a class. And it feels like they're really going all in on this 27 class, which again, and even if these guys do come, they could be gone by the time that they would get their due to start. So again, it feels very silly and very easy to poo-poo on the commitments, but it's better than not having them. And
Yes,
it's
I
nice
agree.
to see the impact, even in a loss. How I think, I don't know if it was Taylor or the running back that was it's expected to commit here. They're like, oh yeah, this place really fucks with football.
Yeah,
Like it may not be as prestigious recently as like Ohio State or Georgia, but they fuck with football, and I like football, so it's a good fit.
yeah. The one thing that kind of threw me off, I think it was Taylor, was like, "Oh, follow me on Instagram, Husker Nation. Follow me on Instagram." I'm like, "Oh, are you just flirting with Nebraska to get more followers?" And I don't mean to be like that toward these guys. But just, I don't know. There's something in my brain, like recruiting and stuff right now. I just don't fuck us. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Again, little kids, I understand. Nothing against them. I'm not saying anything about them specifically. Just don't mess with my emotions, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. And I'm right there with you, because I do think, and I can't remember any off the top of my head, but or even David Sanders a little bit when he ended up recruiting flipping to Tennessee. I felt like he was teasing us quite a bit and rolling up with
like Juan Lacey too.
Yeah.
So
that there is that, but also at the end of the day, if that's the kind of, if that's where the priorities lie, then I don't want him here anyways.
Yeah. Come to Nebraska, it's sick.
Yeah, it is sick. Real quick, shout out Mark Shanahan. I can count on very few things in this life. I can always count on getting a text from my dad whenever Nebraska has 4th and 1 or less and goes for it, and they miss it. I can count on getting a text message from Mark Shanahan telling me that they should kick the field goal. Oddly enough, didn't get any text messages from him on Saturday night when they elected to kick the field goal, which feels shitty because I wasn't happy that he missed, but I was like, all right, maybe there's a reason why they would always go for it on 4th and inches from the 30. I don't know.
Yeah. Your dad knows something that I don't.
I guess so. He also had some choice words about Dylan not coming back into the game on Saturday, and then I had to call him up on Sunday. I was like, hey, remember all that shit you were talking? Actually, he's got a broken fucking leg, so.
And he tried. He tried to come back in the game.
Yeah, if it was up to him, he would have. But thought at the time maybe it was like an ankle sprain and pain management, and he's like, but nope. They made the right move.
Yes, I did love seeing him and how he supported TJ throughout the rest of that game. That was really awesome to see.
It feels like a little thing, but like him staying engaged, like with his helmet on, like that felt like that felt nice. Felt like he was very much engaged.
He's a great dude, man. He's a great dude. Say whatever you want, hopefully he plays for 15, 20 years in the NFL. Hopefully he does. But at least you can always hang your hat on just being an awesome guy.
Yeah. And of course, when you're rebuilding a program, you always want the 5-star quarterback. But him in particular and everything that he brings intangibly, leadership-wise, like that's something that goes a long way when you're trying to do something at Nebraska that hasn't been done in a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on to the next week, man. I can't think about this anymore.
Yeah, UCLA this week, very late kickoff. UCLA, obviously they had their buzz beating Penn State, beating Northwestern. All of a sudden they're in contention to go to a bowl game. Some things I've learned about UCLA, which makes me feel better about this matchup, even though Nebraska comes in as an underdog. One of the absolute worst run defenses in the country. I think the single worst team on third down defense. And I think it sets Nebraska up to run the same kind of formula they ran against UCLA. Like, let's shorten up this game. Let's eat up clock, 15 play drives down the field, make it easy for TJ, let Emmett be a freak, and walk away with the dub.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mosey have like 100 yards in this game. I could see TJ have like 60 at least, and Emmett getting like 25 carries. I mean, he'll probably have like 200 yards with that, but you can't keep, as awesome as he is, and I want them to keep running him, you can't keep running him like 30 plus times a game.
I mean, that's what I thought too, but it seems like he's not. And again, you don't want to run him 30. That's a lot of wear and tear. But also, like he's getting better. It seems like with this extra workload, which again, it doesn't feel sustainable. But here we are. We're in November, and they're still feeding him like they're feeding him, and it seems like he's just gotten a lot better feel for how to read the holes that come up, how to make guys miss. Seems like he's getting better. I do think having a mobile quarterback will eat up some of those carries too. So you can stick to the ground game and also not run him into the ground. And then, another opportunity. At some point, we're going to see whatever this plan is for RB2. I haven't seen it since they announced it a month ago, but at some point, we're going to see it. So this would be a good opportunity for it. And it just feels like I feel like we get on every week and say this is such a big game, but this does feel like a very big game. And maybe that's just what it is. They're all big games.
Yeah, I mean, down the stretch they are. Especially when you lose that game to Minnesota, these all become like really, really big games in the sense where you want to continue getting better and having successful seasons year after year. So these last 3 games are huge. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned the running back 2 thing. Mosey had a couple of really good runs against USC, which was really, really awesome to see because it kind of gives you maybe a look behind the scenes of what's going on. He ran like he was Emmett. There was one run in particular. I'm like, damn, Emmett. And then I look, I'm like, oh no, that's Mosey. So that was a cool thing to see. I hope that TJ gets to throw like 15 or 20 times against UCLA. Just to give him that confidence that he can throw the ball at this level against good teams. So that way when we go play Penn State and Iowa, he has the confidence to rip that damn thing in there and make some plays.
Agreed.
So that's what I hope to see.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I hope it's – and I guess you got to get them in rhythm any way you can. But I would like to see them push downfield a little bit more because, like I said, I think you're going to get a better look defensively when you have that mobile quarterback. You can't just sit 2 safeties back and hover over the middle like you can when you have a more pocket passer quarterback. And, I mean, even against USC, there was a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and they loved throwing that up there to Dane Key and to Isaiah Hunter. And even that one pass where they did try to push it to Hunter with TJ Lateef, like that was a good ball. It was low, it was on the back shoulder. That's exactly where he want the ball. Just a timing thing, and you hope that full week of practice. Yeah, like it's just that those are the things that really go a long way towards building confidence, like a sick back shoulder throw, which was there. It just didn't quite connect.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying not to keep building myself up so much. And then these games happen and I get so down. I don't even want to watch sports anymore. Then I build myself up all the way back up.
Here we are. Kick off on Saturday. We're all the way back.
Yeah. It's detrimental.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It can't be sustainable. Hopefully, at some point, we'll get to relax a little bit. Doesn't seem like, and the bummer with how the season shaped up is that these last 3 games, I feel like they're all very important in all 3 different ways, but it just feels like we're trying to protect from like a very bad outcome in this season as opposed to really striving to do something cool. Because I guess if you go 2-1, you get 8 wins, try to make it 9 wins at a bowl. That's still progress compared to last year on a very tangible level. But it's like in the back of your head, you're just thinking like, what if they drop the ball here and they go 6-6?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm trying to shift the mind.
I mean, it's possible because we really don't know what TJ looks like. We don't. We have no idea. And that's the reason that we're underdogs going to UCLA. That makes sense. I don't know. I think either we come out of that game feeling really, really good, and picking up 2 or maybe 3 wins on the rest of the season, or we come out and say, "Yep, 6-6, maybe 7-6 with the bowl game." We won't know until Saturday. I mean, just is what it is. But he is, TJ Lateef from Compton. I think they said it about 38 times during the broadcast. So he's going home, in a sense, to play, which I think is really cool. Hopefully his family will be there. That's
a lot of red there.
Awesome place, or an awesome situation to have your first start in a college game to be where your family's from. So hopefully they're all there to support him. That would be really, really cool to see. I'm confident. I'm confident in TJ. I'm confident in the team. Let's just go out there and kick ass. Why not? We have nothing to lose now. We have nothing to lose. You can blame it all on Dylan's injury. Just go out there, run around, have fun. Let's be better. Let's just be the better team. Can we do that?